Do you know that feeling? You've just spent a great evening with friends. Laughter, conversation, maybe even a little dancing. You enjoyed every minute, genuinely. But the next day, you wake up feeling like you just ran a marathon. Your mind's foggy. Your body's heavy. Suddenly, the idea of talking to anyone, even replying to a text, feels overwhelming. Ever wondered why? Isn't it strange, loving the moment, but still needing days to recover? That's the introvert paradox. And for years, it left me completely confused. The world doesn't really get it. If you're quiet, they think you need fixing. You hear it all the time, don't you? Just be more outgoing. As if it's a switch you can flip, like changing the channel on TV. But what if our quiet nature isn't a problem? What if, pause, it's actually our greatest strength? We spend years, trying to squeeze ourselves into an extrovert-shaped hole. It's like trying to charge an Android phone with an iPhone cable. No matter how hard you push, it just doesn't fit. You're using the wrong approach for your natural design. Think about it. In a world that never stops talking, the ability to listen deeply, that's rare. In a culture obsessed with immediate reactions, taking time to process and reflect, that's a superpower. But we're taught to see these qualities as weaknesses instead of what they really are. I remember constantly wondering what was wrong with me. Why did I need so much alone time? Why did certain environments leave me completely drained? Why couldn't I just be normal like everyone else seemed to be? The answer wasn't in another self-help book or some personality hack. It was a simple question, and it changed how I saw myself forever. Chapter 1. The pressure to change. It starts early, doesn't it? Why are you so quiet? You should speak up more. School classrooms designed for extroverts. Open plan offices with zero privacy. Everywhere you look, the message is clear. You need to change. We're graded on how much we participate in class. Judged on our networking abilities. Measured by how well we put ourselves out there. Society celebrates the loud, the bold, the constantly social. But here's a little secret. Research shows introverts make up nearly half the population. Yet, we're still made to feel like the odd ones out. This creates a dangerous cycle. We push ourselves beyond our limits. Ignore our energy needs. Judge ourselves for needing to recover. Slowly, we disconnect from who we truly are. I remember sitting in meetings forcing myself to speak up, even when I had nothing valuable to add, just to look engaged. Attending every social event, ignoring my depleting reserves. Because I believed that success meant constant visibility. Here's the wild part. When we try to be more extroverted, we actually diminish our natural strengths. Deep thinking, careful observation, meaningful connection. It's like telling an owl to hunt in broad daylight. You're missing out on your true power by fighting against your natural design. Chapter 2. The breaking point. For me, it came after a week of non-stop networking events. On paper, I was doing everything right. Pushing through discomfort. Putting myself out there. Inside, I was miserable. Have you ever smiled so long your face hurts? Nodded along to conversations while your mind screams for silence? Checked your watch, calculating how many more hours you have to endure? That was my daily reality. One night I collapsed on my couch, so depleted I couldn't form sentences. My mind was foggy. My body, impossibly heavy. I couldn't even focus enough to watch TV. That's when it hit me. Something had to change. Not the world. Not other people's expectations. But my relationship with myself. We've all had those moments, socially hungover, scrolling through photos of people who seem to thrive in the environments that leave us drained. The breaking point is different for everyone. For some, it's health issues. For others, burnout at work. For many, it's the growing gap between who we pretend to be and who we really are. But here's the twist. These breaking points hold a hidden gift. They force us to question everything. Have you ever noticed? No one ever asks if extroverts should become more introverted. Why do we only push in one direction? That realization led me to the question that would change everything about how I saw myself and my interactions. Chapter 3. The question. 5 words. Deceptively simple. What energizes me versus depletes? Not, how can I be more extroverted? Not, how can I be less awkward? Or, how do I get better at networking? But a question that honors your nature instead of trying to change it. The brilliance of this question is its neutrality. No judgment. No assumptions. Just a gentle nudge to pay attention to your most precious resource, your energy. When I started asking this, the answers surprised me. Some social situations actually energized me. Deep conversations with close friends, working together on meaningful projects, teaching others what I love. Others, like big networking events or open offices, were always draining. This question creates a new path. You stop fighting your nature. You start working with it. Instead of measuring yourself against others, you calibrate to your own energy system. Instead of generic advice, you build personalized strategies based on how you're wired. Just pause and consider. What if there's nothing wrong with you? What if your introversion isn't a barrier, but a powerful operating system waiting to be optimized? The solution isn't to change who you are. It's to design a life that works with who you already are. Chapter 4. Identity beyond labels. When I started tracking what energized me versus what depleted me, something fascinating happened. Introversion isn't all or nothing. It's a spectrum, and it's situational. Some social environments light me up. Others wipe me out. It's not about avoiding all social interaction. It's about being strategic. Where, when, how long, and with whom. Here's an example. 3 hours at dinner with 2 close friends? I leave feeling energized, alive. But 30 minutes of small talk at a crowded networking event? I'm depleted for days. Both are social, but their impact couldn't be more different. The introvert-extrovert binary is too simplistic. The real question is, what fills your energy reservoir, and what empties it? For me, one-on-one deep conversations are like a charger. Small talk with strangers is a slow leak. I even started keeping an energy journal, tracking levels throughout the day, noting which activities, places, and people lifted or drained me. The patterns were eye-opening. I wasn't antisocial. I was selectively social. Not low energy, just directing it inward instead of outward. Moving beyond labels, I finally understood my unique energy equation. Isn't it a relief to stop trying to be someone you're not? Like taking off shoes 2 sizes too small. You don't realize how much they hurt until you let them go. Chapter 5. Energy Management, Revolution. Once you know what energizes and depletes you, you start designing your life differently. This isn't about avoiding challenges. It's about strategic energy management. Think of your social energy like a phone battery. Extroverts have an extended battery pack. We run on standard batteries, requiring more frequent charging. Neither is better, just different designs. But knowing your capacity is essential. Most of us run on empty, no awareness of our energy levels until we completely crash. We push through the warning signs, ignore our needs, power through, then wonder why we crash so hard. The key is recognizing your personal battery and what drains it fastest. For most introverts, the big 3, overstimulating environments, shallow interactions, and not enough alone time. I created a simple 1 to 10 scale to track my energy. 10 is fully charged, 1 is empty. I check in. How am I? Great. I can handle that meeting. 4. I need to recharge before my next commitment. Monitor your energy like you check your phone. At 70%, you're fine. At 30, you need a recharge soon. At 10, you're in the danger zone, where quality thinking and interaction just aren't possible. Funny thing about us introverts, we'll stay at a gathering until we're at 1%, then wonder why we need 3 days to recover. Learning to leave at 30%? Total game changer. You bounce back faster. You keep better relationships. You actually enjoy being social because you're not running on fumes. Chapter 6. The Power of Depth. Society confuses being outspoken with being insightful, and quietness with lack of engagement. But real depth often happens in silence. Your introvert mind is built for nuance, connection-making, and careful analysis. These qualities aren't just valuable, they're essential, especially in a noisy world. Consider how many problems come from rushed decisions, shallow analysis, and knee-jerk reactions. The world doesn't need more noise. It needs more depth. And depth is the introvert's natural territory. Studies show introverts often excel at problem-solving, creative thinking, and empathy. We're not participating less, we're processing more, making connections others miss. I used to apologize for needing time to think before responding. Now, I see it as a strength. While others react, I reflect. While others speak first and think later, I make sure my words have substance. Ever noticed how introverts stay quiet in meetings until they offer the insight that changes everything? That's depth over frequency. Question isn't, how can I speak more? It's how can I create conditions where my natural depth creates value? When you reframe quiet as depth, not deficit, everything changes. You stop apologizing for who you are and start leveraging your strengths. Chapter 7. Strategic Social Connection. Contrary to the stereotype, introverts don't hate people. We hate draining interactions. The key is designing social connections that energize instead of deplete. Quality over quantity isn't just a preference, it's the operating system. When I stopped forcing myself into high-drain situations and focused on meaningful connections, something amazing happened. My relationships improved. I wasn't half-present and exhausted. I came to fewer interactions with more energy. I listened better, connected more deeply. I actually enjoyed people because I wasn't always waiting to escape. Here's the strategy. Identify your energizing people, the rare ones you can spend hours with and feel recharged. Create connection contexts that match your style. Activity-based hangouts, one-on-ones, walks in nature. And always build in recovery time before and after. The goal isn't isolation. It's sustainable connection. Being fully present, not managing depletion. And yes, sometimes you need to cancel plans. The key is doing it respectfully and rarely. Creating sustainable social patterns means occasionally disappointing others in the short term, so you can be truly present when it matters most. True friends would rather have you present and engaged occasionally than depleted and distant all the time. The challenge isn't to change your introvert traits, but to position them as assets. When I stopped apologizing for needing quiet focus and started protecting it, my productivity doubled. When I stopped networking like an extrovert and built connections my way, my professional relationships improved. The question that transformed my work: how can I leverage my introvert strengths? Instead of fighting for airtime, I prepared insights in advance and shared them at just the right moments. Instead of forced networking, I built genuine connections with thoughtful follow-ups. Every workplace is different, but the key is awareness, not defaulting to extrovert expectations. The irony? Many successful introverts aren't successful because they acted like extroverts. They created conditions where their qualities became advantages. They designed roles that fit, workflows that protected their energy, communicated their needs instead of suffering in silence. Ever noticed how many great leaders are actually introverts? They're the ones listening carefully, making decisive moves, while the room is busy competing for airtime. Chapter 9. Daily Rituals. Transforming your relationship with introversion happens through daily practice. The morning ritual, reflection instead of immediate stimulation, sets the tone for everything. Just 15 minutes of journaling, meditation, or quiet can build your energy for the whole day. I used to wake up and check my phone, emails, social news, flooding my brain before I'd even connected with myself. Changing that one habit transformed my day. Now, I protect the first hour for inner connection. before engaging with the outside world. Strategic scheduling is your secret weapon. Book meetings with recovery time. Protect focused work blocks. Schedule recharge time. Seriously. Your solitude isn't free time. It's essential restoration. Environmental design matters too. Create spaces for focus. Use headphones as a social signal. Find your third places, quiet cafes, parks, where you can recharge. End-of-day rituals matter. Drawing a line between external stimulation and personal restoration lets your mind process and reset. Maybe a walk. Maybe art. Maybe just silence. Without this transition, our minds race when they should finally rest. The funniest realization? We'll spend hours planning our work schedule, but forget to plan for energy management, which matters more than anything. When you design your day around energy, not just tasks, everything changes. Chapter 10. The Transformed Life. The question, what energizes me versus depletes me, isn't just about introversion. It's about authentic living. Designing a life that works with your nature, not against it. Transformation happens slowly. You'll backslide. You'll overcommit. The world will still misunderstand. But every time you honor your energy, you make your life a little more sustainable. When I stopped fighting my introvert needs, everything shifted. My work improved. My relationships deepened. My creativity grew. Not because I became someone else, but because I stopped trying to. The beauty is in the simplicity. You don't need complicated frameworks or endless self-analysis. Just keep asking, does this energize me or deplete me? Then design your life accordingly. Some people will misunderstand. They might call your boundaries antisocial. Read your need for processing time as indecision. Mistake your depth for disengagement. But living authentically means accepting that not everyone will get it, and making those choices anyway. This isn't about limitation. It's about liberation. The real limitations were just expectations that didn't fit your design. Freedom comes from aligning your life with your nature. Power comes from your natural strengths, not from compensating for imagined weaknesses. So, here's my invitation. Ask yourself daily, what energizes me versus depletes me? Track your answers. Honor what you discover. Design your life accordingly. Not because you need fixing, but because there's something right with you. Something that deserves honoring. Your introversion isn't something to overcome. It's your operating system for a rich, meaningful life. That question changed everything for me. Maybe, just maybe, it will for you too.